You know, we've all seen those incredibly cute videos online, right? A cat just snuggling up with a little parakeet, or a big golden retriever gently playing with a cockatoo. It's heartwarming stuff. But those viral clips, they hide a much more complicated and honestly a pretty dangerous reality. So today, we're going to get into what it truly takes to keep our feathered friends safe when they're living with cats and dogs.
And that really brings us to the million-dollar question for anyone with a mixed pet family. Can they actually be friends? I mean, we see those clips and we so badly want to believe it's possible, but is friendship really the goal here, or is aiming for that actually putting our birds at risk? Let's break that down.
Okay, and this quote right here. It gets to the absolute heart of the matter. This has nothing to do with whether you have a good boy dog or a sweet cat. It's biology. We're talking about thousands of years of hardwired instinct. It's something that no amount of love or training can ever completely erase. And, getting our heads around that is really the first, most critical step.
All right, so let's start right there. With that foundation, we've got to understand the predator that's living in our home. And that means really looking at our furry pets for what they are, deep down, biologically. I mean, think about it. A sudden flutter of wings, a quick darting movement, that's all it takes to trigger a prey drive that your dog or cat doesn't even consciously control. It's just a switch that flips. So our job isn't to pretend that instinct isn't there. Nope. Our job is to build a world for them where that instinct never ever gets the chance to end in tragedy.
So how do we actually build that safe home? Well, it really boils down to two key pillars: a secure environment and active management. This isn't about just hoping for the best. It's about building a solid system. If you can get these two things right, you're really setting everyone up for success.
Okay, let's tackle that first pillar, the environment. Your #1 job here is to create a literal fortress of feathers. It needs to be a sanctuary for your bird, a space that is absolutely 100% secure from your other pets. And when it comes to that secure space, you've really got two main options. First, there's the classic setup, a super secure cage that acts as a safe home base inside a room. And when I say secure, I mean sturdy, with locks that a clever cat or a strong dog just cannot get into. No way. The second option is to go all in and turn an entire room into an indoor aviary. Basically, the whole room becomes the safe space. But as you can imagine, that requires some serious next-level bird-proofing.
And bird-proofing isn't just about keeping the other pets out, it's also about making the room itself safe from the bird. I mean, birds explore the world with their beaks, right? So any little thing, an exposed electrical cord, an open window, and definitely a ceiling fan, those are all massive dangers. Your mission is to think like a curious, mischievous bird and neutralize every single potential hazard.
All right, so once you've got that secure environment locked down, it's time to move on to that second pillar, active management. This is all about how you handle any and all interactions. It's first contact, and believe me, this has to be a slow, careful, and totally controlled process.
So, that very first meeting, it needs to be all about distance. I'm talking dog on a leash, way on the other side of the room, while the bird is safe and secure in its cage. Then, you're going to want to have some really high-value treats handy. Reward your dog for any calm behavior, for just looking at you, for lying down, for completely ignoring the bird. That leave it command, it's going to be your absolute best friend. And this is so important. Keep these first sessions super short, just a minute or two, and always end on a positive note before anyone gets stressed.
And this brings me to a really crucial point. We have to forget those viral videos of cuddling pets. Your goal is not friendship, it's peaceful coexistence. What you're doing is teaching your dog or cat that just being calm and neutral around the bird is the most rewarding thing they can possibly do. The end game is just sharing a space safely and only when you are right there supervising.
Okay, I need your full attention for this next part because we have to talk about something incredibly serious. It's an invisible threat that can make any physical contact between your pets, even something that looks completely harmless, a life-or-death situation.
And here it is. This is the invisible threat. It's a bacteria called Pastorella. Now, this stuff is a totally normal, totally harmless part of the saliva for over 90% of cats, and a lot of dogs too. But, and this is a huge but, for a bird, it's a different story. Their whole system is different, and this bacteria is extremely toxic to them. Their little bodies just aren't built to fight it off.
And the result is devastating. Without immediate veterinary care, an infection from this bacteria can cause septic shock and death, sometimes in as little as 24 to 72 hours. This is exactly why there is zero, and I mean zero, room for error when it comes to any physical contact.
And I really need to stress that the danger isn't just from a bite. As you can see here, it can be a scratch from a claw, a playful little swat with a paw, or even just a lick. Why a lick? Because a bird preens its feathers, and if there's saliva on them, it'll ingest the bacteria. That's why any contact, even if you can't see a single drop of blood, is a full-blown medical emergency.
So if an incident does happen, you have to act fast, okay? Step 1, separate the animals immediately. Step 2, gently get your bird into a small, dark, quiet box or carrier. This helps minimize shock, which is a real danger. And step 3, call an avian veterinarian right away. Don't email, don't wait, call them and tell them exactly what happened, that your bird had contact with a cat or dog. Your bird is going to need antibiotics to survive. This is not a wait-and-see situation.
Okay, wow. So that was a lot to take in, I know. So let's pull all of this together into 3 simple golden rules for living together as safely as possible.
All right, here they are. These are the rules to live by. Rule number 1, separate when you can't supervise. Always. I mean, if you're not there with your eyes on them, 100% of your attention, they have to be in separate, secure spaces. No exceptions. Rule number 2, a lick or a scratch is always an emergency. Remember that invisible threat. Just call the vet. And rule number 3, your bird's cage is its sanctuary. It's not a stage for the dog or cat to watch. Don't let them hang around it. It's a fortress, and it needs to be respected as one.
You know, in the end, it all really comes down to this one question. In a home with natural predators, your bird sees you as its entire flock, its security detail, its #1 protector. It's a huge, huge responsibility to create a safe home for everyone. But by really understanding the biology we talked about, and by truly committing to these principles of a secure environment and active management, well, that's how you prepare yourself to do the job right.